When Fallout 4 was released back in, oh my god, 2015, a theory started to grow that a few YouTubers started to popularize, and it is the theory that the Elder Scrolls universe and the Fallout universe are somehow connected. This theory originated because of a combination of some Easter eggs and people being bored out of their minds. But can this theory be true? Does it have some validity to it? Or is it just completely wrong and is nothing more than a joke theory to bring up for fun? Hello, my fellow hirelings of House Telvanni. I'm Neloth, and today I want to talk about why I believe the theory of the Elder Scrolls and Fallout being in the same universe is completely fucking stupid, and ignores a great amount of logic and lore in the Elder Scrolls universe. Now, before I begin, I want to make a few things clear. One, I will be bringing up a few YouTubers that I may make fun of, but that does not mean I hate or dislike them. And two, I know this is more of a joke theory, but I'm a goddamned 1,000-year-old Telvanni wizard, and like Ebenezer Scrooge, I'm not here to have fun, or laugh, or make you watch another Who's the Greatest video. I'm here to put you in your place, you filthy peasants. I almost lost myself there. Okay. Well, moving on. Now, I think I could completely debunk this theory by quoting Pete Hines himself, who is notorious in Bethesda and was the head of marketing and public relations, and before he retired from Bethesda, he said this in an interview. I haven't the foggiest of notions how anybody could make the leap that they are in fact of the same thing. We made the Elder Scrolls, and a completely different developer and publisher came up with Fallout, which we then acquired. I don't think there is any universe in which those universes are in the same universe. That's not a thing. So that's it, right? A 24-year Bethesda employee said it was wrong, so it must be, right? Well, not exactly. And so because of that, I want to look at each of the popular pieces of evidence and systematically dismantle this theory piece by piece. So, let's get started. First is one of the biggest pieces of evidence that catapulted this theory, Nirnroot, or more specifically, Experiment NRT-001, or the Glow Leaf, a plant found in Fallout 4 on the Prydwen, the Brotherhood of Steel airship that bears a strange resemblance to Nirnroot found in the Elder Scrolls games. As we can see, the Glow Leaf has an extreme resemblance to Nirnroot. However, it is also different in many ways. The Glow Leaf is blue while Nirnroot is green, and additionally, when you are near Nirnroot plants, they will make a chiming, glowy kind of sound, and the Glow Leaf makes no such noise. Now, yes, there is also Crimson Nirnroot found in Skyrim, which is exactly what it sounds like, red Nirnroot. So it is possible that there could also be blue Nirnroot, but I have even more evidence that proves both plants are not similar at all. On the Prydwen next to the Glow Leaves, we can find a terminal written by a Brotherhood of Steel scribe that was experimenting on the plant. This scribe discovered that the Glow Leaf was safe to ingest and started to put it into tea, which the scribe says makes the tea really good. However, in later logs, the scribe then starts to show signs of addiction to the Glow Leaf and was eventually reassigned. So we know that the Glow Leaf appears to be quite tasty and has some sort of addictive properties. However, cross-referencing this information with Nirnroot leads to quite a few contradictions. The effects of Nirnroot and also Crimson Nirnroot has the effect of damaging health and stamina, while also having the effects of invisibility and resist magic. Now, the scribe who wrote the Glow Leaf logs never showed any signs of being poisoned or showing any kind of fatigue, nor did he go invisible. So while I am not a fucking botanist, I think it's safe to say these plants are not the same. Additionally, Nirnroot has never been mentioned as having addictive properties, unlike some other ingredients like moon sugar. But then you may say, why is Glowleaf called Experiment NRT, the abbreviation of Nirnroot? And my answer to that is, because it's just a fucking Easter egg! Not every fucking fictional universe has to be connected! Whew, I think I blacked out for a second. But even if the glow leaf was an exact replica of Nirnroot, it wouldn't even mean anything, because you know what else the Elder Scrolls and Fallout have in common? Grass, trees, water, cows before they mutated, deer, again before they mutated. Also, many games have references to other properties. Doom has a Skyrim Easter egg, Fallout New Vegas has an Indiana Jones Easter egg, and Skyrim has a goddamn Minecraft Easter egg, and none of those universes are connected. Now, I want to move on to something big. And what is bigger than the outer space? Now, I don't think I need to explain space in the Fallout universe, as it's exactly like real-world space, but I do have to explain Elder Scrolls space, as it works completely different than how you would think. Now, here is a map of what space in the Elder Scrolls roughly looks like based on all official and unofficial lore. As we can see, there is Nirn right smack dab in the middle, and all the other planets that orbit around Nirn are the planes of the Aedra, or the 8 Divines. Outside of these planes or planets is known as the Void, which is as close to real-world space as we can get, and the Void houses all of the Daedric realms for each of the Daedric princes and some of the Daedric lords. These planets, both Aedric and Daedric, are in the shape of planets, however these quote-unquote planets actually span for infinity and are of infinite size, yet not at the same time. Beyond the Void is Aetherius, the afterlife for all things after death, and consists of different realms for different races, depending on their idea of a heaven. For Nords, it's Sovngarde, for Redguards, it's the Far Shores, and so on. And the sun and stars aren't distant suns or planets as they are in the real world, but rather they are portals created by Magnus and the Magna Gi that bridge to Aetherius. Lastly, space or the Void doesn't work the same in either universe. In Fallout, if you go out into space, it's cold and devoid of oxygen and you will absolutely fucking die. However, in the Elder Scrolls, space travel has already existed with the Elven Sunbirds and the Imperial Manauts, and a character named Cyrus the Redguard was able to travel through space on a ship effortlessly without suffocating or freezing to death. Now, granted, the lore with Cyrus is unofficial lore written by Michael Kirkbride, but it should still give you some idea on how space is so different between the two games. Now, if you didn't understand a single thing that I said about how space works in the Elder Scrolls, that is okay. The point is that the logic of space in the Elder Scrolls is nowhere near what it is like with the space of Fallout and the real world. Next, I want to go over my favorite bit of quote-unquote evidence people use to support this theory. But instead of me explaining it, I'm going to let Vinylic Puma Gaming say it in his video. Now, I think Vinylic Puma Gaming is a beautiful, sexy, awesome YouTuber that I disagree with about this one very video, so no hate to him whatsoever, but it's just too funny to ignore.
Another direct reference to Skyrim lies within Fallout 4's Nuka World DLC. When the player visits the DLC's Safari Adventure area, they can encounter a giant statue in the northern part of the area that resembles one of Skyrim's grizzly bears. It's pretty strange that this particular bear statue appears in Fallout 4. After all, Fallout 4's closest analog to the bear, which is the Yao Guai, looks a lot different.
Are you fucking kidding me? A bear. A bear statue. A fucking bear statue! My brother in Boethia. How does a bear statue in Fallout 4 make you think that Fallout and the Elder Scrolls are obviously connected? This evidence is nothing! Remember what I said about water, trees, and cows being in both games? Yeah, the same thing applies here. And no, it's not strange to see a grizzly bear in Fallout 4 because the statue of that grizzly bear is in a pre-war zoo. Why the fuck wouldn't there be a bear statue? You do know that the bear irradiated into what is now the Yao Guai, and that the Fallout universe wasn't always irradiated because it was because of the bombs from that war that never changes people never shut up about. Whew. Oh man, I blacked out again. I apologize. But before moving on, I also really want to show how Vinylic Puma concedes and ends this theory segment because it's really funny.
Granted, the Yao Guai, according to Fallout's lore, is supposed to be based off of the American black bear, which looks a lot different from the grizzly bear, but even still, this statue is pretty noteworthy and could suggest that Fallout 4 and Skyrim are linked.
Okay, I think I am completely calm now. Most other pieces of evidence that support this theory are so incredibly flimsy and mean nothing, like the Skyrim helmet appearing on a magazine in Fallout 4, which is again just an Easter egg, but if you really want to overanalyze it, it's just another Viking helmet with horns, but this one has more of a mountain ram aesthetic. The Nords of the Elder Scrolls are obviously very much inspired by the real-world Vikings anyways. Now, if you've heard about this theory before, then you know I have avoided talking about Shoddycast's evidence solely because he uses a lot of science and nerd shit that already doesn't apply to the Elder Scrolls considering what I mentioned with space. Like, I don't care about how radiation affects the atomic particles, okay? Instead, I'm gonna go vivisect a woman made of trees. The Fallout equals Elder Scrolls theory hinges on the idea that Fallout is somehow a prequel to the Elder Scrolls, and somehow Earth formed into Nirn, or people on Earth got in a spaceship and found Nirn on their own, which is already debunked with my discussion of space earlier, but it's more deeper than that. You see, this theory ignores a great amount of lore that has been present in the Elder Scrolls franchise since 1994. Anu and Padme making all of creation, Lorcan tricking the Etada into sacrificing themselves to create Nirn, which forced all the elves into becoming mortal. Lorcan also creating humans, the Daedra existing. You see, it just doesn't work. And I have heard someone say in their own video that all of this mythology and stories is just created by primitive people and isn't true. And I feel those people don't exactly understand the Elder Scrolls universe. First of all, you have the Daedra, the Tribunal, Dagoth-Ur, the Heart of Lorcan, the Eye of Magnus, Auriel's Bow, and Martin Septon becoming Akatosh before our eyes proves that even if the Elder Scrolls mythology isn't 100% real, many aspects of it are, considering what is left thousands of years after creation. And second of all, the Elder Scrolls is an illogical place filled with events and scenarios that could not possibly happen in other universes like Fallout. I know Fallout can get wacky and a bit illogical at times. I mean, have you seen Fallout 2? You meet ghosts and travel back in time to destroy the water chip of Vault 13 that starts the events of the first Fallout game. But I hope you see my point. Lastly, I just feel this theory makes the Elder Scrolls world a lot more lame and generic than it actually is, especially with the elves and Khajiit just being irradiated mutants and some other bullshit. And that is all I wrote, a video where I try to disprove the theory that Fallout and the Elder Scrolls are part of the same universe. This was mostly for fun and shouldn't be taken too seriously, regardless of if you believe in this half-baked theory or not. I just want to have a good laugh and show off my acting skills with my yelling. So with that being said, make sure to like the like button, like the subscribe button, and like the bell notification down below to be updated on future videos. And I will see you whenever the fuck I decide to upload again. House Telvanni be with you.
Please, O hero of Skyrim, I shall be ever so grateful.